I am Ellen Heller. I've been a judge of the Circuit Court for Baltimore City since 1986, retired now, and I am East Baltimore. I was born in East Baltimore at the Sinai Hospital, which was then located across from Johns Hopkins. My grandparents on my father's side immigrated to Baltimore City in the mid to late 19th century. They lived, my grandfather had a tailor shop. They had 12 children, and they ended up living in the 1000 block of North Broadway. Where I lived in that part, it was inhabited by primarily German, Polish, Bohemia immigrants. They themselves had not immigrated, but their parents had. Many of the men worked at Bethlehem Steel. The manufacturing that existed in Baltimore City in the clothing industry, that was part of Baltimore City in the 1950s. Its economy was good, the jobs were good, and the neighborhood and housing reflected that economy. Bethlehem Steel is closed, the port isn't what it was, the manufacturing is almost gone. So that's important to know. The big economic engine that made the city a wealthy city, bustling, is gone. The neighborhood was very clean. It was the neighborhood of marble steps, and everybody scrubbed those steps and kept them clean. Indeed, I thought it was a treat when I was allowed to scrub and then polish the banister. The churches sponsored summer camps of 1 or 2 weeks. Snowballs in the summertime were in every alleyway. It seemed uncomplicated. I must admit, however, it was totally white. Baltimore City, when I grew up in East Baltimore, was segregated. Italians lived in Little Italy. The Greeks lived up near Highlandtown. I was living in a neighborhood with Polish, German, Czech, Bohemia. Even within neighborhoods, they were distinct. The city stayed that way as a city until sometime in the 1960s, when the roadways began to change, like Jones Falls Expressway, like the Beltway. Under the mayoral administration of Mayor Schaefer, there were actually annual neighborhood fairs once a year, and almost every neighborhood in the city, it didn't matter west, east, south, north, everybody was there participating together, although they still were living in distinct neighborhoods. A good deal of that has changed now. The major change was the striking down of segregation and Board of Education and the civil rights legislation. The other well-known heroes, though I can't give particular names, were the great doctors at the hospitals in East Baltimore, which were Sinai Hospital and Johns Hopkins University. And even there was a divide early on where Jewish doctors really suffered the bias and prejudice and challenges of getting into Hopkins. But they were wonderful doctors at Hopkins, which still leads in such a wonderful way. In my mind, is always the number one hospital. I know Johns Hopkins, with Henderson Hopkins and with the entire East Baltimore Development Initiative, with the housing, the park, the hotel it's built, is trying to also bring people together. And I hope that continues. So education, building up the community, which is building up the homes, and also finding ways to employ people and to find a way to have East Baltimore have a big relevance today to itself and to the rest of the city.